In this video, I will show you how to put together the Spear Taps box card, which is an SVG file from Simply Crafty SVGs. Here are the pieces to the Spear Tap card. So we have the dark pieces, which are the card pieces and the inserts. This will go on one of the inserts, and this is for the optional sentiment that we included. Then we have the little piece of the beer. This is for the front of the tabs. Anyways, all these pieces, these two have been already assembled, but I'll show you how it just goes. Basically, this is just glued on there, and then the panels. So, and these are all the tab pieces. So the first thing we want to do is to piece together these little taps, and maybe we can do the sign and the beer. So we'll start with that and this. So let's go ahead and move this to the side. And this is actually, before we go any further, this is a version of the card. So you can change the look of it with different metallics. I tend to want to keep with the metallic. It's kind of a copper color, kind of fun, and you can change the theme based on what you want for the recipient. So I made this a little bit more sports oriented. And then the tap, you can do things with the tap tops, like they used a little pattern paper on that. So it's just a quick card and a guide card. I mean, it could be a guide card or a woman card. So that's it. And it folds flat, fits into an A7 envelope. It's 5x7. So that's that version. So let's go ahead and put those aside for now. And oh, the other thing I want to show you before we put these tabs together are the printable sentiments included in the file. So this is meant to, the reason it defaults to green is, I'm trying to find the background here. It's almost like when you go into a bar, you have a chalkboard. So you can change the color. Here's a blue one. We're going to use that for this file. So you can change the file easily before you print and cut. So a lot of times what I do is I print and cut. Sometimes I select the this file, the pattern paper first that I want to use, and then I try to coordinate my pieces to that. But you could go with the default. So we have celebrate in the file, happy birthday, congrats, happy retirement, cheers, and happy Father's Day. So there's 6 sentiments if you don't feel like making your own in there, just basic ones that you can print and cut. So I'll put those. We're going to use the happy retirement with that. That's the background to it. But again, you could use your own. So we're going to go ahead and put these together. So this is super simple. Just going to line this up on the top. It has a little bit of a curve. So you want to make sure you line it up there. Pretty easy card to put together. Just do things in order. And then for these, I already put these together. So I'm just basically putting this little strip here where there's cut lines. So if you can see the little cut lines there, help you line it up. So I can put glue between these cut lines, or cheater lines I also like to call them. Just going to line that up. Gives a little dimension. You could even ink the edges a little bit. And then we'll take each of these. So I'd start with, we can go each way. They go the same. If you're using textured cardstock like I do, this is American Craft textured cardstock, make sure your texture's up. It's hard to see with the black, but you'll see it's shaped the same way. So we just want to take the black piece. Then for each of these taps, you'll just line it up. So starting at, it's easier to do at the tip. And then line it up right there. So that'll give us that black circular background right here. And then take the little panel that comes with it. No, you'll notice that it has a little shimmer to it. Oh, you might not be able to see it, but that was accomplished after I cut it. I took Versamark Dazzle and just dabbed it on after I embossed them each individually, just to give them a little texture rather than using a pattern paper. So you can see they all look a little bit different, and if I go closer, you'll see a little sheen to it. It's better in person. Then once you get that on, and I used cut lines, I didn't show you that. Let me show you a little bit better in the next one. Right here, you'll see there's a little cut line there to line this up, and also at top. So there's a cut line there. So each one has little lines, little cheater marks to let you line that piece up. So let's finish this one. Line this up. It'll go over the edge of this. Been wanting to make this card for a while, actually. It's a couple years ago I had the idea. And then I'm using Barely Art Glue. And then this, there's no cheater lines or anything. You just want to kind of center it right there. I want it a little bit more dimensional, so I'm going to use enamel dots. So we'll do that at the end. But these come with the file. But we're going to use this. So pull that out. And these little ones are the ones I'm going to use. I have them. I like the dimension of it, the feel of it. So that's the one that I'm going to use. So instead of using those, I'm going to use those. So let's go ahead and continue doing this. So we're going to take each one. They're going to line up like that. You don't do really heavy glue. You want to put it on here because if you can. There we go. Line that up. Then we'll place this. So make sure you get the coordinating shape for these little mini panels. And based on the shape at the top of the big piece. Oops, I got that off a little bit. Line that up to the... So when you glue these on, you might want to just put a little less glue towards the edge. And then again, glue that on. So the last one's the same. We'll put the dots on last. Like this. And remember, if you do like this project, I always ask if you give me a little like or thumbs up on the project, and or subscribe to our channel if you have not already done so. And if you hit the little notification to the right, the bell, you'll be notified when we have new videos, new content. So this will finish this off, and then we'll just add those little enamel dots. A little glue on the front. I'm going to line it up this time at the bottom cheater cut. Then as you kind of center, it'll line up. So I just want to make sure it's centered. So the paper I'm using, if you're wondering, I got this a long time ago. It's a really thin metallic, and it's kind of got a sheen rather than shiny. Like the other card I showed you was shiny. This is but it's super thin comparatively. But I like the look of the silver. So sometimes it doesn't glue down as fast. So then we'll add these to it. And this last one. So now we just have to take this, and what we're going to do, just to create the layered look. So around the edge here, we're going to place that there, and then place these on their shaped areas. And we could actually, let's just do it directly to this. So here's the insert. So let's go ahead and do piece by piece. Make sure you have the correct way before you add glue. I mean, for me, it's the same color on both sides, so I have to be careful. I'm also careful not to get too close to the edge on all of these, especially the taps, because I've been known to move my pieces around a little bit. Or you could add glue to this part down there, which probably would have been the smarter way to go. But here I am doing it this way. Fortunately, I got a little glue there, but you're not going to be able to see it where I got the glue. I'm just checking to make sure it lines up. If it's a smidgen off, I wouldn't worry too much. All paper's a little bit different how it glues. So that's close enough. And then we'll add this top piece. Make sure it lines up okay that way. You could pop this up with foam tape if you wanted. The only issue is we make it thicker, it's going to be hard to get in the envelope, but the only difference is it's harder to get those taps on. So if you're going to pop something up, the taps would probably be it. So you could pop those up if you wanted with a little foam tape, like that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I added foam tape to the back of this, I'm going to carefully, when you do the foam, you can glue it on, but I did foam tape. You just need to kind of get above it and make sure it lines up. But it gives it dimension, looks like it's more three-dimensional. I'm lining it up from the top and from the bottom here. So you see there's a little right there. Oops. And it's just sticking all over. Didn't want you to have to watch all the backing, taking off the backing. So I'm going to go right there. Line it up that way. And right down there. So it gets a nice little bit of dimension. And then we'll go ahead, and you could do the same with that if you wanted to. We're just going to go ahead and add that while we're at it. So I do have a special pair of scissors for I'll put a little 2 pieces on there. But this scissors basically I use primarily for adhesive. Now I have to clean them as much. Again, you could just do liquid glue and it looks so you can see the difference. It just, you see the difference in dimension, kind of gives a depth that the first one doesn't have. I'm going to fold these in like that first to start. We'll come back to it. But it does get some weight on it. So you see how the weight, so it's a little bit top heavy. Just be aware of that. It should last for a card though. I've had this one made for a while, probably a couple months, and it's still holding strong when it's up. So now we're going to put these panels on. No, I didn't put those together yet. We'll yet to do that. Actually, let's just do glue on that. But I'm going to pop up the whole, with foam tape, I'm going to pop up the whole back part. So I'm going to center it. So you'll notice these are inked a little bit on the edges. I just like the looks of it. So just really quick, the way we're going to do that is, I have a couple, most of them I try to show at least a little bit in every video, but just have, I like to use a little piece of paper behind there just to give me, so I can get the excess off. I'm using Distress Oxide Black Soot and this little finger brush from iCrafter. And I'm just going to slowly, I'm going to get the excess off. You can do this with most any ink. You just have to play around with it first. Some inks are better than others. I just happen to have a variety of distressed oxides and distressed inks. So I just use what I have. I don't go looking for the newest thing because it works for me. I have a bunch of colors, but this one I wanted to kind of make a little manly, so give it a little edge. Masculine. So go ahead and take that away. And then we'll go ahead and get the card pieces. So I folded it, pre-folded that, and the reason why is so I can see that I can center it. So I'm going to select which way I want this to go. And center it. So this, the last one, I kind of gave sports themes, but I thought about billiards and bars. They kind of go together. But you really could put any panel. So you could put birthday paper, that kind of thing. So just center it there. I wanted to make it as versatile as a card as possible, so you can use it for multiple occasions. Because once we have these panels on, we can put together the card. So in the file, before I go any further, in the file there's additional in the extra stuff folder. There's alternate panels, and those panels can be used for a couple things. So I did not put there's a back panel. Well, you can go to the alternate panels, and there's a panel that you can add into here, or you can put your own panel for the sentiments in the back. And the other thing is that if you have a texture cardstock like this, if you want the texture inside, that same panel, just to say, you could use for pattern paper inside if you wanted a background of pattern paper. So remember, in the extra stuff folder, there's a couple alternate files. Also, this is an earlier version of the card, but I have panels that are full panels like this too. So it's earlier because it didn't have the round. There were a couple things that were changed on it, and as you probably can see between the two. I mean, they look slightly different. So we have full panels too, because I already had those all ready to go. If I have them, I just put them in the alternate into the extra stuff folder. And there's also a blank tag. I forgot to tell you that too, but you could take any of the sentiments off and add your own sentiments, or you could create your own, obviously. So I'm not going to have a panel on the inside. So I'm going to line this up so when I'm gluing this is going to be on the inside. So I want the texture side down. I'm going to add glue to the side tab. Then we're going to line it up at the bottom and up to the edge of the tab fold. So I'm lining it up at the bottom and then making sure this lines up right up to the edge of the tab fold. Since it is a dark card, a lot of people might want to use that panel, which is just a slightly inset panel. Now we want to go ahead and flip it upside down like that. We're going to take these panels. I'm going to start on the right hand side. So we want these tabs, this is the front one, so we want these to fold not backwards, upwards. So once we fold them backwards to kind of train the fold, I'm going to fold them up. Then use my little mini bone folder to get a nice clean edge on it. Make it easier. The other one doesn't need that as much unless you are using like a score tool that doesn't score well. Like the Cricut scoring tools, I don't think are the best. So we're going to glue this front one like this. So I know it's a really dark paper, but we're going to add the glue, this edge up to the edge here. So you don't want it right next to it. You can get it close to a little bit to the right of that fold. So when you're looking at it, it's the left tab. They're folded up towards us. When it's upside down, it's the right tab. So looking at it, add glue to the left tab. Then I'm going to line it up. I have some shadows here, but I'll show you where it's once I get it on. So, and also making sure this top edge is right below the edge of the top of that card. And you can kind of see it's lined up. So it goes like that. So let me show you. See how it folds? That's kind of where it is. And this top edge is lower than this edge. Just goes like that. So you can fold that way. So this one's the opposite. So when I'm looking at it, I still want to put glue on the left tab, but I want it to fold backwards. The front folds forwards, the back one folds backwards. I'm called the mountain fold because it looks like a mountain peak. So this, we're going to do the opposite. We're still going to get it towards right here, towards a little bit to the left of the fold, making sure that this part is underneath here, just a little bit below it. It's really not that difficult. I'm kind of putting it down just a smidgen below the other one. So you can see, you just don't want to go over that fold. So you can see, glued like that. And then make sure this is good and secure, you can just fold this whole thing over like that. And I'm going to make sure these are straightened. So I'm just kind of moving this around. So we're going to flip this up for a minute. And I want to add glue to this right there. So fold it down and add glue on the back of it. Then when you place it down, fold it over. See how it folds over there? Then you can place it down. And this one, you just want to fold, put glue. I did it separately, but you put glue on this one, on the front of it. Like that, and just fold it straight down. And I'm just making sure it's straight across there. It would have excess glue, so it glues incorrectly. So you can see before we do anything, before we fold it back. And that's a little heavy, like I told you, it's top heavy. And then we can go ahead once we get these all glued. There's this last tab right here. Add glue to it. And then we're just going to fold over the right edge. It should line up, and we want to make sure it's lined up at the bottom and lined up. If it's a little bit over, it's just the way you folded it, but it won't change. It won't do anything to the file. It'll still be just fine. So there it is upside down. So when we fold it, it goes up like that. So the last thing we need to do is just add the sentiment. So the other one I don't have a sentiment on. So we're going to go ahead, and if you want to put it at the top, you can put it at the top. It's just kind of fun at the top, huh? Or you can put it at the bottom or the middle. I'm going to go just straight middle, then you can go middle. But let's go ahead. Let's see how this looks. Okay, I'm just going to put it up like that because it looks nice up there. A little bit offset. So there it is, the beer tap card. So let's go ahead and you can see the two different versions side by side. Right there. And remember, they fold flat to fit into an A7 envelope. I hope you enjoyed making this project as much as I enjoyed designing it. Thank you for watching.